Hey guys and gals, how you doing? My name is Alan, and I wanted to share this video with you. It's about how to start a business. Now, over the years of my life, I've started several businesses, one of them being a construction company, another one a publishing company, an internet marketing web design company, a contractor licensing school business, a tax and bookkeeping business, and so on and so forth. And you know, one of the things I've learned is once you learn how to start a business and you put some steps and processes in place, there's no limits to where you can go in generating great income for your family and growing a business that's thriving and it's helping the community. But I want to go through these 10 things here in getting started in a business. Now, the first thing is when you get ready to start a business, you're just going to follow these green lines right here. Notice you have to choose a business. Well, which kind are you going to do? Are you passionate about something? Is it something that maybe you're inheriting an idea or something you've always wanted to start, or maybe you want to get a part of an e-commerce program or something like that? Whatever it may be, the first thing is you got to make that first initial decision. I want to begin to look into this. Once you do that, the next thing you want to do, number 2, is gather some market research. You have to be able to go and ask someone else potentially, or look online. How many businesses are out there that are doing what you want to do? Or do you know someone doing what you want to do? Can you go sit them down and have some coffee, take them out for coffee and talk with them and ask them how they got started? What are some downfalls or some pitfalls that they got into? Or what helped them? What were some great achievements that they did that really moved them forward into the next level? Not only that, but you can do you could hire companies like ours to do some market research to see what potential that type of business may have in the area that you want to launch it. The next thing you're going to need to do once you have maybe done a market analysis or you figured out what you want to do is file a DBA, that stands for doing business as, or get a corporation. Now, if you have any kind of assets like a home or you have tools or equipment, then it's probably a good decision to go ahead and get a corporation. There's a variety of different kinds of corporations, from an LLC to an S corporation to a corporation, and you might need some business advice on which one to start. We do set up corporations. It's one of the things that we do, so we're really reasonable. You can give us a call, you can ask us some questions, we'll go over those details with you and help to strategically plan for your business, where you want to go, where you want to be, how you want to get there, and what would be the best fit for you. But if you don't have the money to get going with the corporation, you just want to get a business started, well, then I recommend that you do the DBA. You simply go down to a county recorder's office in your city. Some of them do allow you to do that online. You file your name, your fictitious business name. That's, by the way, the other name for that. Once you have that fictitious business name, you'll get that paperwork, you'll publish it in a newspaper. They'll give you all the information at the county recorder's office once you do that you need to complete. And then once you complete that, you take that paperwork into your bank, you start a bank account, and you get rolling. And then you're basically a business. The next step will be to generate some income, some funds. The other thing you'll want to consider in starting a business is the proper licenses, okay? For example, did you know that whatever city you're working in, if you have a city-based business or you have a construction company or something like that, or a restaurant or a store, as you can see over here, well, you're going to have to get a business license in that city. Now, if you're a construction contractor or something like that, and you're going to work in 3 or 4 different cities, then you have to have a business license in each one of those cities. So you're going to have to go down to the city, and those range, depending on the city, anywhere from $40 to as much as even $400. And those you have to get every year and keep those compliant. And so you'll want to look into licenses. A resale license. Let's say maybe you're going to sell a product. Maybe it's a store that sells an item, or you're going to have an e-commerce website. You're going to need to have an account with the BOE, the Board of Equalization, which gives you a resale license so that you can then begin to sell product, track sales tax, and report that at the end of the year to the Board of Equalization. The next thing you're going to need to think about is maybe city licenses. For example, if you're going to start a restaurant or a store, some kind of brick and mortar building, you're going to need some kind of potential city license, whether it's a CUP, Conditional Use Permit. Well, these are the permits, so we'll get down to that in a minute, but check with the city and see what kind of things you might need. The fifth thing, this is more of a recommendation if you're going to go with a DBA, a fictitious business name, or a doing business as. I recommend highly that you do an EIN number. You do that at irs.gov, and the reason is because when you are a sole proprietorship or you're doing business as, I know there's a lot of names there, just to clarify, so as a sole proprietorship, that's a business that runs under your Social Security number, all right? Now, usually as you run that type of business, a sole proprietorship, you get a fictitious business name, also known as a DBA or doing business as. Make sense? So, because the number one crime in America and even worldwide is identity theft, you don't want to use your Social Security number on anything. So you want to try to exchange that for an EIN number. It is free. Now the other thing is this. If you do a corporation, they're automatically going to assign you an EIN. We'll already filed all that paperwork for you, so we'll take care of that. Number 6 is any kind of permits. Like I said, if you're going to move into a store, a restaurant, or some kind of brick and mortar building, start a school like us, you're going to need to get a conditional use permit from the city. You're going to have to go and have an inspection done. They're going to take a look and see, is this building, does this space that you're going to use, is it qualify for what you want to use it for? And then from there, they'll let you know what changes or alterations you're going to need to make that happen. The other thing is number 7, I highly recommend that you do a business plan. Now, how many of you know if you aim at nothing, you hit nothing? So one of the key components is that we see in business is a lot of times people start their business, but they forget to do the business plan. You got to know where you're going. It should tell you, I want to be here in 1 year. This is where I would like to be. And then you set up the steps to get you to that 1 year marker. If you don't make it, you readjust and you just keep going. From there, you then have a potential 3 year and a 5 year and a 10 year, so on and so forth. You want to lay out that vision. You want to make that dream come true. So you want to spell that out. You want to get that business plan done so you know where you're going, what you're aiming at, and how to get there. It's going to be important. The other thing is this, branding. What do you look like? What does your business look like? When people see it, can they tell? When you see an emblem like from Nike or Adidas or Reebok or anything like that, you know that symbol that they use, you can recognize it anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's on a wall, on a shoe, a piece of clothing. It doesn't matter where it's at. You know that Nike symbol. So you want to create a branding so that when people see that, oh, yes, that's that coffee shop, or oh, yes, that's that building, or oh, yes, that's that school. They know you. That's important. So you want to be able to take care of that. And one of my businesses, Alcom Business Solutions, we take care of these kinds of things. The ninth thing that you want to look at is a marketing and advertising strategy. You got to get out there. You got to let people know you're there. You got to get leads. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. And finally, number 10, you don't see it here, but it's highly important, and it's this: expansion game plan. So this goes deeper than a business plan. A business plan basically says, what is your business about, and what does your business want to do, and how are you going to get there? Now, the expansion game plan takes that vision, and then it puts feet behind it. It puts a pathway, a process to get you there. You got to have that game plan if you're going to win, ladies and gentlemen. How many know when you go into starting your own business, your idea, your desire is to win in business? That's going to be important. So you want to get that game plan going. Now here's the important part. So a few components that you're going to have when it comes to an expansion game plan is this. What kind of competitor analysis are you doing? What kind of competitor analysis? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. What kind of growth strategy do you have? What kind of marketing and advertising? Are you using paper advertisements? Are you doing magazine? Are you doing internet? Are you ranking well on Google using search engine optimization? Do you have a website? Are you going door to door? Are you doing door knockers? Are you putting flyers on cars? Are you going to Chamber of Commerce meetings and meeting with people and passing out your card? What are you doing? There's so many avenues to reach out to people and let them know what you're doing, depending on the type of business you have. And that's what an expansion game plan looks like. It does a competitor analysis. If you're an e-commerce store, well, some of these things might not apply. And so you wouldn't want to waste your time and energy on some of these advertising or marketing strategies. That's what an expansion game plan does. Another thing is reports. What kind of, especially if you get going, you're just getting going and you're seeing some sales happening, you're seeing some movement and your business is moving forward, we need to do a KPI, get some key point indicators to find out what's happening, where you at, what's going on. ROI, to see, is your product producing money? What's your return on investment? Some SWOT analysis, which takes a look at your strengths and weaknesses and a variety of different things that need to be done to see where you're going, what's going to happen. And finally, the game plan. Now notice this green line here. Hopefully you can see that in the video, but there's a green line, green representing money. You want to make money. Hey, I know sometimes money is a little bit of taboo to talk about, but nobody goes into business unless they want to make money. Now I know there's some greater, more elevated ideas which are good. You want to go into business to help people. You want to bless them. You want to help people reach their dreams. You want to make them successful. You want to make sure that they can thrive and grow. And those are all good. You want that to be a part of your business plan and your modus operandi. But at the same time, if you're not making money, you're not going to be able to take care of you. You're not going to be able to take care of your business. You're not going to be able to take care of your operating expenses or your staff, or even reach out and get new clients. And you're not going to be that effective with people that you're trying to help grow their business or whatever you're trying to do in servicing them if you're not generating income. So this green line leads us to a very important component here that we got to think about. People, product, process. And if you ever watch the television series The Prophet, you'll see Marcus Lemonis, a multi-billionaire, talk about this three-step process that he uses in every company that he starts or buys or purchases that he wants to expand across the United States. I believe in this three-point process. Very important. So one day, I'm sitting at a coffee shop, and this pool contractor asked me and said, hey, I want you to help me. Would you take a little bit of a look at my business and see what can I do to go to the next level? I'm pulling in about $1 million a year, but I want to go beyond that. I want to expand out of my valley. I want to expand out of these 3 or 4 cities. I want to go statewide, then nationwide. How can I do that? And so I asked him a couple of questions. First thing I said is this, okay, let me just take down a list here. I'm going to write this down. What are some of the tools that you use for your business? And he began to list off things like, some tools that you work with, cement for laying out the finishes and those kinds of things. Some extension cords, some drills, a backhoe to dig out the pool, all those different kinds of construction tools. And so I wrote this down, took him about 15, 20 minutes just listing off things on the top of his head. And after I list them down, I said, okay, that's great. Are you done? He said, yeah, I think that's about it. And I go, this is exactly why you're going to be challenged and have a hard time moving from $1 million business to a multi-million-dollar business because you're stuck in just thinking like a contractor. I go, think about this. All you talked about were the tools necessary to help you with this product. But what about this? What about people? How many of you know if you don't have people, it doesn't matter what product you have. If nobody's buying your product, seeing your product, or using your product, your business is pointless because it's not producing anything. Or what about this? What about people who they have a natural affinity to organize every little detail, and they like to sit on the computer and strategically plan everything, and they have all these process steps and they have all these organizational things, but if they do not have people, it doesn't matter. They could sit in their room and starve to death and generate no income because they haven't generated people. And how many of you know there are 2 types of people in your business? One is because you generated some kind of lead through mass marketing and advertising. You've captured them, you've attracted them, you brought them in, and now you've been able to connect with them to begin to present to them your product or service that you can sell to them. The other way that you reach people, and that is referrals, one of the best ways, right? It always is great when someone says, hey, yeah, this restaurant down there, oh, you want to go to this restaurant, this is the best. Or that coffee shop. Oh, don't go to this coffee shop. This little mom and pop coffee shop. They have pour overs. They do Belgian mochas. They do the best of chocolate ordered from Europe. You want to go here. This is great. I love that because there's a particular coffee shop where I live that I go to instead of those big box coffee shops. And so those kind of things you think about. You get referrals and or you generate leads. Now that lead generation and that referral process or managing and processing people, that's usually done by a software called a CRM, a client retention manager. And I asked him, I go, have you ever thought about how you process your people so that you could sell them? Now statistically, most businesses will say that to win a person, you have to touch base with them through a text or an email or a phone call or some kind of format like that, postcard at least 7 times. On average, by the time you win that customer, you've touched base with them in some way, shape, or form through your marketing, branding, and advertising about 7 times. So there has to be a strategic plan. How are you doing that? If you're going to grow your business, you're going to get better than what you're doing. You're going to get started, and then you're going to expand that business. You want to focus and get these 3 things going. So I said to him, okay, if you want to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, if you want to transition from a contractor doing $1 million a year to an entrepreneur, business owner that's generating multi-millions, you've got to change your thinking. You stop thinking like a contractor and start thinking like a business owner. So how and what are you going to do? What is the process for people? Well, so then I talked to him and I said, let's get you a CRM, let's get you a client retention manager. There's a lot of them out there, Salesforce, things like that, Streak, which Google is an add-on to Google, a pretty decent one, great one. But anyways, you get that and you begin to process people in a step-by-step process that gets them sold. Because then if you have people, then you can have product. Now, if your product is good, you're providing them with a great quality, whatever it is you sell, the gizmo, that thing, or that service you do, then you're going to get referrals. And not only are you getting referrals, but you're generating new people. And then finally, to manage that product, all the steps, how does it get to them? How do you mail it to them? How do you send it out to them? What is your step-by-step process? How do you track your business? How do you shave seconds? That's a key important word to know. For example, one day I was coaching baseball and I was trying to speed up the process. So I took these kids and they were always taught in the past, you receive the ball, you put your hands together, you separate your hands, and then you throw the ball where you want it to go. And I said, let's save time. Put both hands out, receive the ball, and as you're receiving the ball, you're pulling that glove in, this hand is reaching up, grabbing that ball, and in one motion, you're throwing it to where it needs to go. You just shave seconds. By shaving seconds, you save time. So how can you set up your business in a process that produces the most amount of money in the least amount of time? Because how many of you know that time is, you got it, time is money. That's right. So you want to work on a process. When you have these 3 components going strong, this business is going to thrive and grow. So I sat there with that pool guy and I said, here's the thing we need to do. We need to develop an expansion game plan to grow your business once this is all happening. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. This is how to start a business. These are the 10 steps. As you begin to go through these and you work through this process, give us a call, let us know. We can help you with these. We have a service that helps you build out your business plan, or that helps you with the branding, or helps you even with the tax and bookkeeping. It helps you with the corporation. And really the most important part that I love the most is once you get that business established, getting that expansion game plan that strategically lays out your business. How are you going to win in the next 5 years? What do you need to do based on your budget? What can you do now? How can we do a competitor analysis, find all their weaknesses, and then maneuver through to rise up above them by dominating over their weaknesses to get above them using a tight budget. But if you have great money, you have loans, you have money, people investing in you, then we can just jump at it, run at it, expand it, grow it, build that business so that you can think about crossing the United States or even buying or building other businesses. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it. My name is Alan with the Contractor License School and Alcom Business Solutions. Check us out on the World Wide Web and take a look at the details below. We're going to have some links and some things in there that'll send you to our website. So if you need help, we'd love to help you out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alan. It's been a great time with you. Talk to you soon.